Recording. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are so glad that you could be here and that you're spending what is typically a day off just a little bit with us today. We're looking forward to also getting you back to a restful day. So welcome. Thank you for introducing yourselves in the chat. If you haven't, you can do that now just so we can all be connected. My name is Renee Angelo Mock. I'm the Program Outreach and Support Manager here at Mentor Maryland, DC. And my colleague and co-host will introduce himself when he comes on in just a few minutes.
Hi,
hey, go ahead, Judge. Go
ahead. I got confused. I'm Justin. I'm the Program Outreach and Support Vista. I'll be the co-host. Me and Renee help to all put together.
Thank you. Yeah, so just a rundown of what today will look like and how we want to spend this time together, which again, we appreciate so much. So we'll talk about kind of the origin of the challenge and why we wanted to frame it the way we did this year. We'll talk about, and I know our participants have learned a bit about Martin Luther King's experiences with mentoring and do some reflection on what his experience was like being a mentor and a mentee. We'll go through videos, writing, and artwork. Those are the mediums that our participants got to submit their work in. So we'll look at some of those same work of Dr. King. We'll announce our winners, and if our winners feel comfortable, we hope that you'll share your work with us. And of course, thank you. And again, we already appreciate you so much that you're here. So thanks in advance. So the tiniest bit about us, like Justin and I said, Mentor Maryland, DC, this is us who are hosting the contest today. We are affiliate of the National Mentoring Partnership. So our goal nationwide and here in Maryland and DC is to ensure that the young people who are here today, everyone across Maryland and DC has access to quality mentoring and access so that there are enough mentors to serve young people, because we know that when we're connected, we are more able to reach our potential and more powerful and better together. So that's a little bit about who we are. And then as we kind of talk about why the MLK Mentoring Challenge, I'm actually going to ask our Executive Director, Sadiq, to talk about kind of the origin of the challenge. Then we'll talk about how we framed it this year. So I'll pass it to Sadiq.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody, or I guess it's now officially good afternoon. Hopefully everybody is doing great today. Again, first off, just happy New Year and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This is an absolutely, auspicious, as they say, occasion for us to all be together. There are, lots of other reasons for us to come together, but I seriously doubt that there are any more important than coming together to celebrate the legacy of one of not just the greatest African Americans that ever lived in this country and had an impact in this world, but one of the greatest Americans, period, that had such a tremendous impact, that fought for justice and equity and inclusion and diversity and all those things that we hear today, which are, somewhat popular and a bit more buzzwords, right? That there are fewer occasions that are better for us to come together today. As Renee just said, thank you so much for that intro, Renee. My name is Sadiq Ali. I'm the proud executive director of Mentor Maryland, DC. And before, I just give a very brief history of this contest. This is now our second time or third time doing this contest, and we're so excited about it. But first off, I just want to say, kudos and just send love and respect and appreciation for all the young people that's with us today. So can we just make some noise in the chat box for all the young people that's with us? As Renee said, I'm a type of one, a bunch of ones in the chat box, just showing love for y'all, because as Renee just said, which is also part of the history and why we did this. But as Renee just said, there's a million places that you all could be and that all of us could be, right? But you all chose to be here, which really makes me excited about the future, right? Because a lot of times we talk bad about our young people. We talk about all the things that our young people don't do, all the things that they can't do or won't do. But we don't talk about enough about the things that our young people can do and do actually do, and how you all are showing up and impacting the world every single day. So I just want to send my love and admiration and respect to all of you all joining, and all the adults that support you all as well, because this is we are part of the human race, and we got to continue with this idea that we're all in it together. Just in terms very quickly about the actual MLK Mentoring Challenge, if you all didn't hear that, I'm gonna say it one more time. Check out our background. This month, all January, for the last 15 or so years, is recognized as National Mentoring Month. So when we thought about those individuals that really had, a holistic, right, a very well-rounded representation of mentoring, there was, nobody that we thought more highly of than again, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was himself a mentor, but most importantly, for the purposes of our conversation, he also had mentors himself. So this idea of our young people coming together and being able to share you all's perspective on what his legacy meant and means to you currently, again, we think was just an amazing idea, because again, a lot of times we talk at our young people. We tell y'all what to think and how you all should consider the legacy of a great American, a great African-American like Dr. Martin Luther King, but not often enough do we give the platform and really celebrate you all's opportunity to say in your own words what an individual, an icon, a legend like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. means to you. And we thought that there would be no greater opportunity to do that than via National Mentoring Month and what has become to be known as a day of service and in homage of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which is why we're all gathered here today. So with that, I just want to say again, thank you all so much for being here. We're excited. I can't wait to see the unveiled works of art that our young leaders have submitted. And again, the only other final challenge that I will leave you all with, as well as for myself, right, is that it's very easy to remember Dr. King's legacy on a day like today, when essentially the entire world is doing so. But I think that the real magic happens when we think back and consider the legacy of a great hero, a champion, a great American like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when it gets hard, when it's not MLK Day, when we're going through those personal challenges and struggles ourselves. When he asked, like where a person stands in times of comfort isn't the answer. It's where that same individual stands in times of discomfort, in times of, great challenge and turmoil, when the rough gets going. Then are we considering Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy? So I want that to be our challenge that we walk away with is let's be thinking about what Dr. King meant to all of us and meant to this world outside of just today, because today is easy. Today is also fun and beautiful, but today is also easy. So let's challenge ourselves to keep his legacy alive all year round. And man, what a world it'll continue shaping up to be. Really appreciate you all. I'll pass it back to Renee and Justin.
All right.
Thank you, Sadiq. Yeah, so before we move on to Justin, I just wanted to say, so for this year's challenge, yeah, we wanted to, because it is National Mentoring Month for us at Mentor Maryland DC, but all mentoring organizations and youth serving organizations across the USA. This is a big month for us. And this is an important day that happens during this month. So we wanted to kind of bring those ideas together and explore Dr. King's history with mentoring, which I know our young participants did. We were able to provide them some information about that, as well as kind of do some comparison and see, who are these mentors in my life? Who could I mentor? How could I be like a mentor like Dr. King was a mentor? We know a lot about him, of course. So with the millions of, or the many MLK days that have come before us, but this was an opportunity to view him through this lens of a mentor and how he built his legacy that way as well, through other people, through his mentees and mentors. So I'm going to pass it to Justin, who will give us some more background information about that. And just let me know when you want me to change the slide, Justin.
Well, I think that Sadiq really hit a lot of what I was going to say on just this opening slide. So you can go to the next slide. So MLK had many mentors. That's why you are here. I think it's important to understand that the figures that we look up to, like MLK, and the people that who are mentoring us had someone before them who taught them the ways and really helped shape and guide them to people they ended up becoming. We had you, we gave you two different mentors in the Google Doc to look at. And that was Benjamin Elijah Mays and Rustin Bayard. Um, and those who were extremely prominent mentors in MLK's life, but a couple more that I think are very notable would be someone like Howard Thurman, who actually went to India on a friendship mission and met with Gandhi, and really was inspired by Gandhi's teachings and by all of that to bring that over and got MLK really introduced the concept of civil disobedience. And that progressed. And but even before that, MLK was learning about Gandhi. Mordecai Johnson, who was the first Black dean of Morehouse. No, I might be getting the colleges mixed up. Actually gave this very inspirational speech. He was also a theologian that really inspired MLK to start reading Gandhi. So with these individuals, you kind of start seeing the shaping of MLK himself. You also had like Vernon Jones, who was a pastor before at the church MLK was a pastor at. And all these different people, along with MLK's father, who was who also did a lot of civil disobedience and went to Morehouse himself, and had an instance where he got pulled over. The cop called him boy, and he said, "My son's a boy. I'm a man. Call me as such." You kind of just see like all these little pieces making MLK into the man that he was, that was able to lead a generation out of segregation. But with that, like MLK just didn't stop there. He passed on his knowledge to people like John Lewis, who was actually inspired by what MLK was doing, wrote MLK a letter, and then in response to that letter, MLK sent him bus tickets to come down, and he stepped off the bus and met Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, and became one of the big six of the civil rights movements. Then you had someone like Jesse Jackson, who started the Rainbow Push Coalition that combined gay rights activism with Black Lives Matter activism, and they're all very close with MLK. And you keep seeing these people who, because of the actions of people like Howard Thurman to make MLK into the man that he was, and then MLK taking that and pushing it along, are continuing the legacy that he espounds. And I kind of went past my this slide into my next slide, if you want. So I get myself talking, I forget that I have slides, but you kind of can just see this big timeline, this big like frame that like it's built on top. I think oftentimes we talk about like generational wealth, but with mentoring, you kind of, and with MLK is a great example of this, you can kind of get generational knowledge, and you get generational like wisdom and experience. And that gets passed on, and it can really help guide a generation. Our next video and our next slide is a video of MLK. And I think that's really important to watch. So if you want to start playing that.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin. So yeah, I appreciate you, giving that context to the things that we know that Martin Luther King was doing and the people he interacted with, but more about those relationships, and not that the relationship was just within the movement, but it's a personal relationship to help with that self-development to, again, who Martin Luther King was and what we know now, what he did, right? So we are going to start with the video of Dr. King. That was one of our mediums for submission. So this is to remind, all of our young people and everybody on this call about these videos of us that are floating across the internet. What might be, how we can use that as a medium to mentor others and to give encouraging words. So this particular video is his, if you've heard before, his "What is Your Life's Blueprint" speech. Maybe you've read it. And he was giving it to students at Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia. So young people just like yourselves. So I'm gonna.
This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one, in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. Once you discover what it will be, set out to do it, and to do it well. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal stair, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.
Yeah, I love thinking about high school students and like your graduation speaker is Dr. King, right? And I think we've heard, those kinds of words from people like that. And what a gift for those students that they got to experience that. It's a really popular speech for the tenets of it with people talking about the chat. It's great. Next, we're going to move on to some artwork inspired by Dr. King, and I'll pass it back to Justin. You're on mute, Dustin.
Sorry, thank you, Renee. So this right here is a picture of Martin Luther King's funeral done by Alfredo Jar. I think I'm saying his name right. It's a picture of the Gordon Park while they're doing his funeral procession, and the dots you see are supposed to highlight the disparity between the number of Black people and the number of white people at the funeral, Black mourners and white mourners. I believe the black dots are the number of Black mourners, and the red dots are the number of white mourners. And I think that you kind of just see the effect that Martin Luther King had. There's obviously more Black mourners, but that was growing in time. And you could see if people were inspired by him and see how many people are just there in general. I think I'm going to pass it back to Renee.
Yeah, this is from 1968. So obviously, when we're thinking about the people that celebrate Dr. King today, it's more evenly spread and it's a national holiday, which didn't happen until the 80s. So this is really powerful. And again, there's tons of artwork inspired by Dr. King. I mean, everyone here's probably seen a mural somewhere, but it's definitely worth looking into it. There's lots of beautiful artwork out there from it. So next, this is our most popular category for our youth. We want to talk about, the writings of Dr. King. Every speech he did was something that he wrote. So a very specific writing that was truly Dr. King, kind of writing by longhand was what's known as the letter from a Birmingham jail. So Martin Luther King, if you're not familiar with the story and the background of that letter, so he was imprisoned as a participant in nonviolent demonstrations against segregation, of course. So he wrote this letter in response to clergymen in the Birmingham area where he was criticized, or where they were criticizing his campaign. Oh. Speak, saying I'm having trouble hearing me. Please let me know in the chat. Could be an internet issue. But anyway, so he had written this letter to the clergymen, and this letter got circulated and went beyond just those 8 men, and it was published. And it was in the American Friends Service Committee article in periodicals, and the New York Post, and Amity magazine. So what began as just one handwritten letter came to be something really important and powerful. And the first half of the letter was actually introduced into testimony before Congress by Representative William Pitts Ryan and published in the Congressional Records. So what again started out as a single handwritten letter went to have this huge effect and reached Congress. So one particular quote from that letter, and again, it's fully available online. He says, "We will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the hateful words and actions of bad people, but for the appalling silence of good people." So again, that idea, one of the more, another popular for Dr. King is injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So that idea that we need to be engaged and involved, and he's attempting to inspire people to do that. And again, this is definitely worth a read. It's wonderful to listen to Dr. King, but when you can't listen, his writings are everywhere, and thankfully, very accessible for us. So we're going to transition now into our winners. And I'm going to pass it to Justin to share our video winner. Oh no, 1 second. The slides up?
Yeah, the slides up.
Okay.
All right. So our video challenge winner with, I wish there was like a drum roll button on here, is Samar Mallory.
Here's some claps, some hands in the chat.
If we can get some ones up, some claps, excitement going. All right.
Trying to find Samara. Samara, are you here? I just saw her.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Is it okay? Can we play your video? Or do you just want to share some words?
I had, when I heard about this, it was a big, I was really excited to do this challenge because as a Black female, it's very important to me to know about my Black history and to know and inspire other people about any type of Black history. And Martin Luther King had a big impact on me because he stood up for African Americans, and even though he got hated for it and hatred and discriminated, he kept pushing to keep going and to give us our rights, even if they aren't completely equal. I'm very grateful to be able to go to a school where it's not just Black people, but it's other people and other races. And I'm very grateful for that because he made a big impact on me. And now that it's being very recognized, definitely in this generation, and my generation, it's like very powerful and very like inspiring.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Samantha. That's amazing, and we appreciate that. That's what you got out of the experience of doing the challenge. Like I said in the chat, we'll share a link at the end so you can access everyone's work and see Samara's video. But congratulations! And additionally, for all our winners, just so you know, I'll be reaching out to you this week via email with your prizes. But there are cash prizes for all of the winners we'll be announcing today. So again, thank you, Samara. Claps in the chat. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So our artwork challenge, we do need a sound. Our artwork challenge winner, this is our first prize winner, is Alexander Wyman. My audio is breaking up. Justin, can you take over and I'll click through?
All right, our artwork challenge winner is Alexander Wyman. This is their artwork right here. It's very lovely. A bunch of claps in the chat, some excitement going. You did a really wonderful job. Would you want to tell us more about your artwork? In a brief little snippet, or do you have sound? Trying to find you.
Yeah. So my artwork, it's kind of like trying to address the effect my mentor had on me, as far as like my perception of like how like colonialism and stuff affects me like as an Indigenous Latino person. But that's like pretty much like all it's about.
And you did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful piece of art. It does a really good job at bringing in your own personal experiences with your mentor. Did a great job. And again, we will be emailing all the winners with to give you guys your prizes with the emails that you had provided us. Renee, do you want me to take over the writing winners?
Yes, I'm about to switch my sound, but if you want to, we'll start with our third place winner.
All right. Now, a little drum roll, please. And our third place winner is Emily Atha. She did a wonderful, well-written response. If you want to, again, say a couple words, go right ahead. Excitement all the way around. It's just a great piece. I read it. It was awesome. Speech.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations. Again, you did a great job, and we really appreciate you entering the contest. And let's see who else do we have. Renee, is your sound working?
Hey, Justin, if we could really quickly, I would love to ask a couple of questions to those first couple of winners. Like,
Yeah.
even if we go back one slide to
You
Alexander.
want to go to the which winner do you want to go to? We can go all the way back.
Yes. This is just such a powerful piece. I was just curious to the artists, what did they want us to take from this piece? You know, because we heard a little bit about your inspiration, which was absolutely amazing. But I'm just curious, right? I think sometimes there are, not every time, but I feel like sometimes artists, there is like a specific, you know, feeling or emotion or something that you'd want us to consider when viewing this. And I was just curious about what that was, if at all.
Yeah, I mean, so the piece is kind of addressing how like previously, before like I guess like me and my quote unquote like mentor, or whatever, like I felt very like bound by like the intergenerational trauma and the kind of like legacies of colonialism, that like kind of affect like indigenous communities, like the pressure to adhere to like certain like Western like standards, like engaging in like uh monogamous like heterosexual relationships, like abiding by like Christian like belief systems, that kind of stuff. But meeting my mentor, it kind of like they allowed me to kind of step into myself and realize that I wasn't completely bound by this, bound by the things that were like imposed upon me. So that's kind of like what it's about and stuff, and like I guess what I kind of want the viewer to take. And there's just like symbolism and stuff like the veil and the rosary like in there.
No, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And again, for Emily, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Is my sound working?
It's working now.
Okay. So actually, I'm going to drop a snippet from Emily's essay into the chat. This is her strong ending. She said, after all, if Dr. King emphasized anything through his civil rights movement, it is true power vested in our words. As models and mentors to all who may look upon our lives, learning when to listen and when to speak is an invaluable ability. Each has its own season, its proper employment. Today, I echo the motif of King's movement. Turn to your mentors, divert yourself to your mentees, listen when the beating cry of truth demands to be heard, embrace the resounding call of activism for and by your mentors. You have been ready to speak. So one thing I'll say about Emily's essay, and Emily, please elaborate. You know, she mentioned that there were a lot of mentors in her life, and she didn't reference just a specific one. And what we know from, you know, Dr. King now is that he had many mentors as well. So Emily, yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to elaborate about any of your mentors or kind of the power of all of their influence.
Sure, thank you. I just really felt like the prompt of the challenge really encouraged me to think about just all the different people in my life who have shaped me to become who I am. And I honestly just couldn't pick out one mentor because so many people have just done so much for me. So it was just really honestly it was very nice to write the essay because it helped me to realize some things myself.
Thank you for sharing. And we're so glad that that's what you got from it, because that was our hope, right? That we could learn about Dr. King, but then have a reflection about our own experiences as well. And realize that, again, that connection, that we are very connected to lots of people who have influence over us, whether they're from history like Dr. King or, you know, currently with us. So to move on to our second place winner for our essay contest, Logan. So I believe Logan and their mentor is here on the call. So Logan, if you'd like to come off mute, tell us a little bit more. We'd love to hear it.
So when I was writing my essay, it took me a while to choose like if I should choose from my mentor group or a mentor from my personal life. But since like I already know so much about my personal life, and I don't think I would like want to have to like share that with everyone. So I just decided to share about my mentor from my mentor group and how her impact on me has like it's been very meaningful, and I'm really grateful to have been able to come into this group and make new friends with and like create new bonds with people I've never met, because that's really important to me, social interaction. So the fact that I got to do that with new people and then got to write about it, it was a really good thing for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And if your mentors on the call, I think they're in the chat hyping you up. And I appreciate you made the point, right, that you're part of this mentoring program, but there's still mentors in, your everyday life as well. And our work here is to, support mentoring programs, but also to support youth finding those natural mentors who show up in your life, wherever they may be, and making sure that you guys are getting connected. So I'm glad to hear that everyone here has many mentors. That we're doing it, guys, here at Mentor Maryland, DC. The work is working. We're really happy for all of you.
Does Logan's mentor want to say any words?
Yes, my name is Shayna. I am her mentor, and I think that was great that she did actually write an essay about me, and I really appreciate that. And I think that we all can grow from mentoring groups, especially our mentoring group, and she's been a great addition, and we are glad to have her. Congratulations, Logan.
All right, you did a great job, and thank you so much for sharing, Logan and Shayna. All right.
And our final winner.
Our final winner of the writing challenge is Kemi.
They go by Kemi.
All right, did I say that right? I hope I said that right. You're our final winner. Again, your essay was amazing. It was a great essay. It hit on every point. If you want to go ahead and talk to us a little bit about why you wrote about who you wrote about and your essay, you're more than welcome. And if we can put your essay in the chat, a little snippet from your essay in the chat, that would be great. I'm sorry. My Renee, can you do that? My computer's like glitching up for some reason.
Hello. So basically for my essay, I wanted to include basically everybody that was important to Martin Luther King Jr. and that helped create who he was, because I think it's really important. Also, I also decided to add my dad as somebody who would be, I guess, a mentor, because throughout my life, he has really helped me realize who I am and who I want to be and how to go about life. And I think it's quite similar to how Martin Luther King Jr. helped many people realize who they want to be and how they want to go about their life through his actions and movements, and especially his speeches and words. So I just thought that my dad was somebody really important to add, because he really has helped me in a way that Martin Luther King Jr. has helped his mentors and Martin Luther King Jr.'s how Martin Luther King Jr. has helped his mentees and how his mentors have helped him influence people. So, thank you.
Is your dad on the chat? I saw your last name again.
Nearby.
It's here.
Oh, he's here. Does he want to say a couple of words?
Um,
No pressure.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayo Olufade. I am Kemi Oluwakemi, Solo Olufade's father. It's really wonderful, to be for what you're doing, for giving my daughter the opportunity to participate in a wonderful, wonderful mentoring, at least giving them the avenue to be able to not only recognize the people in our lives that have made it possible for someone like me and her to be able to be part of a wonderful, community and society. Martin Luther King and many civil rights leaders, many of our forebearers have played a significant role to how far we have come, although we all recognize that we still have many more, many more distance to cover. But just like Martin Luther King has said, as in his famous speech, "I have a dream," that one day, it doesn't really matter the color of your skin, but you will be looked at based on the activity or what's in your mind, what you can contribute, and not based on your gender or not based on your skin color, but you'll be looked at and respected based on what you can contribute. And little by little, we are seeing that happening and taking place in our community and our society. If it's not because of people like Martin Luther King, someone like me, probably coming from Africa, will not be Nigeria, West Africa, will not have the opportunity to be here, to be part of a wonderful society like the United States of America. And here it is, the dream that Martin Luther King had. My daughter is living it. My children are living it. What a wonderful trend setting. So I just want to thank you for giving this opportunity for my daughter to be able to express herself, to be able to recognize the people that have played or that will continue to play a significant role in her development and in her success within our society and being part of this community of success. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Again, I'm feeling like we got everything we wanted out of this challenge this year. Thank you so much. And we love and appreciate families being involved, because it's really about, it's about the whole village, it's about all of us and how we can show up for our young people. Thank you so much. So we are coming to the conclusion. Again, we appreciate so much to all of our youth participants who submitted their work. I'm going to drop a link in the chat, and at this link, you'll be able to read everyone's full essays, see Alexander's artwork, see Samara's video. So that will live on, and you can enjoy, the full versions of their amazing work. But I'm actually going to pass it back to Sadiq, who has another opportunity for our young people.
Hey folks, once again, good afternoon. Can we just make one more round of noise in the chat box, some virtual noise? Feel free to, we even let y'all off mute, because y'all do have the power to unmute yourselves. Don't do it, you can do it real quick, but make some noise to this amazing group of young people. Thank you so much to the parents, the mentors. We had a couple of angels out there in the form of some guidance counselors, etc., sharing the opportunity to participate in the challenge, the variety of the different artwork and submissions. We had essays, art, just we had it all. So just what a wonderful, wonderful reminder. In the words of our young people, I'm like really, really excited, and much love to you all. That was awesome. So on the next slide, we have another youth leadership opportunity. So one of the sort of core projects of Mentor Maryland DC this year is that we are working with our partners to really lift up this idea of youth voice, youth choice, and youth power, and really do that work practically, because we hear those terms all the time, but what does that look like in a practical sense? So our objective is to, we're actually in the process of launching a working group, which is going to be a group of, a joint mixed group of young people as well as adults coming together to essentially create an outline that we will then share with other organizations that want to actually launch their own youth advisory leadership councils. The research tells us that when young people are involved in decision-making, when their voices are heard, they're more engaged in the overall project and initiative. It just runs better because there's shared engagement, there's joint accountability, and not just the adults, which are many, many times incorrect. It's not just the adults, us telling young people what to do, but there is some shared sense of destiny and vision. So we are looking for a few good young people and a few good adults, few good men and women, or what have you, to join in this working group. There is a $300 stipend to participate with us in essentially reviewing and brainstorming best practices, again, for ensuring that youth advisory leadership councils proliferate, that they grow. And that we have more opportunities for young people to be in leadership, because just like Renee pointed out a little while ago, as it pertains to mentoring, there are not enough. They're not enough. We believe the same is true for youth leadership opportunities. There are not enough. So our goal in creating and launching this working group is that we will work together to really lay out the best practices, create a toolkit, a guide for other organizations to do this work, and really are excited about having more young people involved with us. So yes, there on the link right next to that red arrow, there is an application for young people to sign up and apply to become a part of the Youth Advisory Leadership Council Working Group. That's bit.ly/student, YALC app. Thank you, Renee. On it as always, we just dropped the link in the chat box. Next slide. Not to leave our adults out, we need adult feedback as well, because again, it's not one is better than the other, right? It's about us doing this together. So we need adults that are passionate about youth leadership, that are passionate about sharing power, that are passionate about holding other adults accountable when we do something or say something that sounds absolutely crazy. So please, adults, that if you're interested and excited about youth leadership, please consider joining or applying to join the working group as well. And then lastly, for those that have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, because I'm talking really fast, join us for the Youth Advisory Leadership Council working group info session this Thursday, 4:30 to 5:30. Again, we tried to make sure that was a time after school, so our young people could hopefully participate. And we have that link as well there in the chat box. Again, that will be the info session, so you can learn all about this really cool opportunity, and we need y'all. So awesome. Once again, happy National Mentoring Month. I'll pass it back to Renee and Justin to take us home. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sadiq. And I did just write in the chat, we will make sure that those links get to you all tomorrow via email, as well as the slides. And again, the link to the wonderful work from our students. So Justin, any last words to close us out?
Really just everyone did an amazing job. Your guys' works were a pleasure to read and to look at. It was really good artwork, really it was a really good video. Everything was just wonderful. I really think that we all got a lot out of this, learning about MLK, his mentors, his mentees, and how we can apply that to our own experiences. And yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, young people will be in touch with you this week. Everyone will get all this information to you tomorrow, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. And I'll play us out with some music. So have a great day, everyone.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it